Good morning, students. In today's lecture of computer architecture, we are going to discuss about various types of communication mediums, serial communication. So this is all we are going to discuss. So let's understand what is data communication processor is. See, a data communication processor is basically an input-output processor that distributes and collects the data from the various types of remote terminal that is connected through telephone and other communication line to the computer. So what is basically a data communication processor? It's an input-output processor, and it's take the data from via various sources. That source could be a telephone line or it could be a communication line. So computer is collecting data from the processor inside the computer is actually communicating. It takes the data from numerous resource sources. Fine, this is clear. Now next point is, it is specialized input-output processor designed to communicate with data communication network. So basically, data communication processor is a special type of input-output processor. You can say that it's a very special type of input-output processor. Why? Because it has the capability to communicate data communication with the various type of data communication network that is available to us. That network could be any network, right? So that's why we call it a special input-output processor, right? Now such communication network consists of variety of devices such as printer, display devices, digital sensor, etc., serving many other users at once. So you can say that these type of communication networks actually consist of varieties of devices, various types of devices. It could be a printer, it could be a display devices, it could be a digital sensor. So these are the various types of devices with which these communication networks are connected. Now data communication processor communicate with each terminal through a single pair of line. Now there is a single line or single pair of line via which it actually communicate with the terminal which with it is attached. It could be any terminal that it is attached with. So it is having a single pair of wire. So it's also communicate with the CPU and memory in the same manner as input-output processor does. See, the manner with which the CPU and memory communicate is similar to the manner in which input-output processor communicate. They communicate in the same way as input-output processor communicate, right? So such communication networks basically consist of variety of devices. We know there are various types of devices that are available to us for communication, like printers via which we can take out the printers, display devices via which we can see the result, digital sensor which actually sense the digital images, and serving many other users at once. So these are the various types of communication networks example. Now the data communication processor communicate with each other through a single pair of line that we have already discussed. It also communicate with the CPU and memory in the same manner. So this is something that we have already discussed. Now after considering this, the next point that we need to understand is what is modem. What does the word modem means to us? See, modem is nothing. Actually, what happens in data communication networks, the remote terminals are connected to the data communication processor through telephone lines and other wires. So we know that whatever the network with which we are connected to, it connects with the terminals via various most common is telephone line. Nowadays Wi-Fi's are also there, but most common is telephone line via which they are connected. So such telephone lines are specially designed for voice communication, and computer use these communicate in digital signal. Therefore, such conversation is required. These conversions are called modem, which means modulator demodulation. See, we know that telephone lines via which telephone lines are basically designed for voice communication. It can understand only voice. It cannot understand the binary digits. So we need certain and the computer used to communicate in digital signals. We know a computer understand the language of zeros and ones only. So there must be some device via which we can actually convert voice communication to the digital and digital to the voice, and vice versa, whatever. So we need some device via which we can actually convert the voice communication into digital signals. And what that device is? It's a modem. And what does the modem stands for? modulator and demodulator. See, modem actually, what does modems do? Modems actually convert digital signals into audio tones to be transmitted over the telephone lines, and also convert the audio tones into digital signal for machine use. See, I have told you that computer understands machine language, that is the language of zeros and ones, whereas telephone lines understands the tones, audio tones. We know why we use telephone lines. We use telephone lines for tones, we audio tones for auditing something, for listening something. So we need certain device to convert that audible device tones into digital signal, and vice versa. Means we require digital signal to convert into audio tones and audio tones into the digital signal as per the requirement. That is, when we have to send the data from telephone line to the computer, then we need to convert audio into digital, and when we need to convert, send the data from computer to the telephone line, then we need certain device by which we can actually convert digital signals into audio signals. So for this purpose we use modem, that is modulation and demodulation. First it is doing the job of modulation, and after it's demodulating the same signal. Now the modem is clear to you. Now after that we are going to understand, see, what are the various modes of transmission. There must be some modes of transmission by which we can transfer the data. So there are various types of modes. Basically there are three modes of data transfer, modes of transmission. First is simplex, second is half duplex, and third one is full duplex. Now let's understand these three modes in detail, what these three modes is all about. See, a simplex line carries information in one direction only. So in case of simplex mode of transmission, the information is carried only and only in one direction. This point is very important and you have to understand. In case of simplex, the information is carried only in one direction, and this mode receiver cannot communicate with the sender to indicate the occurrence of occur. That means only sender can send the data but receiver cannot. See, if I have to give an example or explain you what exactly the simplex is, then the very common example of it is radio and television. What happened in case of radio and television? Radio, via which radio we can gain the information, we listen to the audible signals, but we cannot communicate with it. You are getting my point? We cannot communicate with it. But similarly in the television, can we communicate with the television? No, we cannot communicate with the television. We can only receive the signal. So the information can carried only and only in one direction in case of simplex. Means the sender can send the data to the receiver, but receiver cannot communicate with the sender. And very good example of it is radio and television. So simplex is clear. We have to consider 2 points in simplex. First, the line carries the information in only one direction, and second, most important, that only sender can send the data and receiver can't. And example, if we are talking about the example, then examples are radio and television broadcasting. Now let's come to the second mode of transmission, that is half duplex. Now what is half duplex? See, in half duplex the system is capable of transmitting data in both the directions. What was happening in the simplex? We can transmit the data only and only in one direction, but contradiction to that, in case of half duplex we can send the data in both the direction, right? But again, one direction at a time we can actually communicate, we can send the data in both the direction, unlike simplex. But again, what is the compulsion or what is the flaw of it is that we can only send the data or transmit the data one direction at a time. If we are sending the data from sender to receiver, then only we can send the data from sender to receiver only, and receiver to the sender, not simultaneously, one at a time. And very good example of it is walkie-talkie. We in case of walkie-talkie, one person speak, other person listen, and again other person listens, and the one who is there, it receives. Now after half duplex there comes another mode of transmission, that is full duplex. Now the question arises, what is full duplex? See, in this mode of data transfer, data can be sent and received in both the directions simultaneously. Means you can send the data as well as you can receive the data. So this is a 4-wire link. is used. In this case, what we use, 4-wire link is used, and very good example of it is video calling, audio calling. So I hope this mode of transmission, that is simplex, half duplex, full duplex, is clear to you all, and I'm sure the concept of modem is also clear to you all, and we have also understood the data communication processor. That's all for today. If you have any problem, feel free to ask me. Thank you.